Hello, everyone. My name is Don, the movie reviewer, and today we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman with spoilers. Okay, so the main thing that I want to get to right now is the villain in this movie. Now, the main villain in this movie is played by David Thewlis. I don't want to butcher his last name, but I probably already did. But anyways, it's played by David, and he plays Ares, the god of war. Now, what the movie tries to do at first is it tries to trick you into making you believe that actually this guy, actor Danny Hudson, is the villain in the movie, who is Ares. Because Wonder Woman, she's going on her quest and she's very optimistic, and she's like, "Oh, if I kill Ares, I can stop the whole war and there'll be peace throughout the world and all this stuff." It's jolly good, like, oh yeah, good person, kill this person in the war. So you're thinking, okay, Danny Hudson's character, this Nazi general who to me kind of looks like M. Bison from Street Fighter. Like, if they do make a Street Fighter reboot, he should play Bison, because just his overall appearance with the hat and the coat and his broad shoulders and how tall he is. Every time I saw him on screen with a wide shot, I was like, he looks like M. Bison. He should play Bison in Street Fighter. And Danny Hudson's character just comes off as like a generic cheesy villain. Like he's walking around grunting, being snarly and mean, being extremely serious, not having any dynamics to him, not having virtually any characteristics whatsoever, except I'm the villain and I'm a Nazi and I'm a bad guy and that's it. And then he shoots some guy, one of his soldiers, in the face to prove a point that attacks can come out of nowhere and whatnot, and who cares and stuff. And then they implement this cheesy thing in there where he absorbs this gas, and then all of a sudden he becomes super strong. That is pointless in this movie. I mean, I know Chris Pine's character is supposed to be the guy who's like, I stole this book, I need to get it back to my superiors, and they're going to release this poisonous gas and kill all these innocent people. But and they got this woman in here who is like, the gas creator and stuff, and then she creates this super whatever this stuff is, and he absorbs it, inhales it, and then he becomes super strong. And I think the only reason they put that into the movie, is so that Wonder Woman could have a formidable foe at the end of the movie, so she can throw down with him, and it could be sort of evenly matched. I think they should have just left him like a normal dude, thinking, oh, he's Ares, which this is what the movie does, and this is what my problem is. Besides the whole inhaling the gas and this dude is super strong and he looks like M. Bison, she kills him, right? She kills him and she's like, oh, yeah, now the war is over and there'll be peace. But then there's not. She still sees the killing. And so now she's facing this decision where she's like, well, should I just walk away and go back to the mascara? Should I stay here and fight? Then she discovers the big reveal that David, this guy, is the villain.
What?
Is the real villain. Now, here's the funny thing with this movie. It was poorly executed. That whole reveal was poorly timed. It was poorly executed. There was no build to it. It was just thrown in your face like, ooh, the big reveal. And I didn't like that, because it's like, all right, you see this David guy, you see this character not early in the movie, somewhere around maybe the beginning of the second act or so, and he's in this board meeting, and you meet him, and he's one of the directors on the board or whatever, coming up with the plans of how they're going to win the war and all this stuff. And then you got Chris Pine's character trying to convince them to be like, yo, give me some soldiers, we need to go down here and stop this poisonous gas from being unleashed, help me out. And then the superiors are like, no, we're not going to help you. And then this guy, he's, the David guy character, he's like, well, we can't do anything. And then, Chris Pine's going to go out on his own, get his own people, and we're going to do it ourselves. Then the David guy character shows up, and he's like, well, I'm going to back you up, and I know this is against the rules, but I'm going to help you. So then he helps him. And there's this one scene that's super revealing, where it's like, Chris Pine wants to go on this mission. There's like, we need to go to this one place. I forgot what it's called. He's like, we need to go to this one place. He's on the phone talking to his secretary, she's pretty funny in this movie. But he's talking to his secretary, and then you see the David character, the guy, he looks up, And then he's like, oh, what's going on? And then he goes on the phone and he's like, oh, I don't want you to go there. Don't disrespect my wishes. Do not go there. Do not go to this place. Don't go there. And as soon as he did that, something clicked in my mind where I said, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. And just that one scene, he just had that one scene that was revealing. But it doesn't really allude to anything. It's just like, oh, it's kind of suspicious. Why is he like saying I'll back you up, but then you can't go to this one place? But at that moment, I was like, yeah, I bet he's the real bad guy, and I was right. And so the big reveal happens, and even this girl sitting next to me was like, yeah, I already knew that. I already knew that. So I thought that was kind of poorly executed with that whole thing, with that whole reveal. Because, I mean, yeah, they explain at the beginning of the movie what Ares' purpose is, what he's doing. Like, Ares betrayed Zeus and he put poison in men, made them kill each other. And then Zeus is like, I'll cast you out and all this stuff, and sacrifices himself and creates the spirit. And Ares is like, yeah, I'm going to come back and poison the world. And I want Wonder Woman to work with me, all this stuff. And to me, it's like, okay, the way they set Ares up is interesting, and it's effective, and it's good. But then by the end of the movie, where they have the boss fight, it's just kind of sudden and out of nowhere, and they try to do the trickery thing where, oh, it's not this guy, it's actually this guy. And that was really piss poor to me. I didn't like that. And yeah, I mean, that's just pretty much it. I mean, like, yeah, it's a generic superhero movie. But I love the way this ties into Batman versus Superman, because at first you think, oh yeah, this is gonna be like either a prequel that takes place before Batman versus Superman. But I like how this is like a sequel slash prequel, where it's like it picks up after the events of Batman versus Superman. Then it's like Bruce Wayne sends her the photograph and is like, oh yeah, tell me your story sometime. And like, I hate narration in movies when it's not used effectively. Like movies like Forrest Gump used it perfectly because Forrest Gump's talking to somebody, or movies like The Lobster, where it's like, oh, someone's reading something from a journal or something. And with this, it's like, oh yeah, she's talking to herself, but then it's like she could have sent a story to Bruce, or she's just like reminiscing, daydreaming, whatnot. So I was like, at first, oh fuck narration, but then I was like, oh, she's telling the story to the audience. Yeah, kind of cringeworthy, but she's daydreaming, because Bruce Wayne sent her this photo. She's looking at a message, oh, tell me your story sometime. She remembers her origin, and then we lead into the prequel stuff. At the end of the movie, go back into the sequel, where it's like, oh, now Wonder Woman, I used to believe that humanity is good, and it is good. There's bad, there's good. She flies away, superhero pose, flying through the air. Looks kind of weird, but I mean, whatever. And it's like, yeah, this movie's fun. Like I said, Gal Gadot, good chemistry. Chris Pine's good in here. Lots of good action fighting scenes. Cohesive story. The only negative thing I can really say is that the villain, perfect setup in the beginning, but towards the end, it's really kind of poor. With the whole like trying to do the trickery thing, like the big reveal and all this stuff. I think they could have just cut out Danny Hudson's character and been like, oh yeah, we don't really know who Ares is, or yeah, Ares is just in broad daylight in front of everybody, like I'm here, instead of trying to do this whole trickery thing. I really didn't like the execution of that. And then his armor during that big boss fight kind of looked bad. Like it looked kind of fake. Like he puts all this armor, and I thought it was cool. It was cool, but then it's like it looked kind of fake, and that's just nitpicking. If I want to nitpick some more, I could say that, okay, why doesn't Wonder Woman have any clothes? Like I know, but it's like, come on, man. Like people want to complain about Psylocke and X-Men Apocalypse looking like some skimpy stripper in cosplay or something, running around in a battle with, like, you can see her thighs and everything. And Wonder Woman, I know that's what her character is designed as from the comic books, but it's like when I see scenes where it's like, okay, there's a scene in the movie where she has her shield, there's this guy in a tower who's sniping everybody, and then she's supposed to run and jump up there, tackle the guy, collapses, the whole like there's rubble everywhere. She comes out of it unscathed. because I know, yeah, her body's durable and stuff, but it's just like, how is it like the rubble falls on her, she comes out, her hair still looks pretty, her makeup's still on point, you know, like she doesn't even have any like dust on her face or anything like that. You know, I mean, earlier in the movie she has a cut on her arm, but it heals quickly and stuff. But come on, I mean, she would at least have some dust and dirt on her face. That's just nitpicking, you know. But it's like, yeah, with her outfit though, it's like, what if it's cold? What if it's snowing outside? You know, if it's snowing outside, wouldn't she freeze? Maybe not. I don't know, because she's durable. She's durability is one of her powers. I looked it up, and so, but I'm still give her some pants or something. I mean, does she fight like that all the time? I mean, you know, people always want to say, yeah, you know, what if when she's sliding across the ground, doesn't she get like leg burn or something, and skin, you know, something? I don't know. It's just nitpicking. I'm just being an asshole, but really, I have no complaints about this movie other than the villain is pretty poorly executed. Chris Pine is like, he's effective in the role, but he really doesn't do much here except what's expected. Like, I knew he was gonna die at the end, so that's, you know, the typical thing. Like I said, this movie's pretty typical. You can pretty much figure everything out from the beginning to the end. But Gal Gadot gives a really charismatic, charming performance, and she kicks ass as Wonder Woman. Chris Pine, their interaction with each other is really good and believable. They have perfect chemistry together on screen. Special effects are really good, except at the end boss fight with Wonder Woman versus Ares. I thought that was pretty kind of odd, because like, you expect the boss fight, but then it's just like, I don't know about the way it was executed. It's fine, but it seems kind of like, oh, we need to wrap this movie up and then get that boss fight in there. But it was good. You know, I gave it an A minus. I liked it. You know, it could have been a little better in some aspects, but it's good. DC got one in the bag. It's good. It's good. Good movie. Just minor complaints, a little nitpicking here and there, but other than that, hey, this movie is pretty much it's a good superhero movie. It's good. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.